Zakaria GPS, seen in Sunday morning 10 Eastern and Pacific.
And now for our What in the World segment. America is the innovation capital of the world, the home to the best new research technologies, scientists, and companies. And the only way it'll stay vibrant as an economy and society is if it continues to lead the world in innovation. Unfortunately, it is increasingly evident that we're not as securely at the top as we once were. It's partly that we're not as focused as we should be on science and technology, but it's also that others are joining in the game, learning our tricks, and catching up. A study last year from the Boston Consulting Group and the National Association of Manufacturers found that the United States ranked 8th in the world in innovation. The top-ranked country is actually a city-state, one with a population of just over 5 million people. It's Singapore, and I stopped there this week to find out the secrets of their success. Hi there.
Hi, welcome to my house. I hope you're enjoying your visit so far.
That's a computer-generated avatar greeting me at a place called Fusion World. It's where Singapore's Agency for Science, Technology and Research shows off its latest innovations. 2,400 scientists in a variety of fields, all working on research projects with massive government funding. Take a look at this TV of the future that you can control with hand gestures, no remote. Look at this smart billboard that can figure out your gender and can target advertisements accordingly. When a woman walks in front of it, she's shown a watch for women. But when I walk in front of it, the sensors read my face and throw up an ad for a man's watch. From modern Mad Men to medicine, this next one could save your life. A-star scientist Lee Kyun-moon helped me understand it. So here we have the hospital bed of the future. This is called a smart bed.
Right.
Why?
Well, it has 2 layers of sensors. One layer detects the sleeping pattern, the pressure of the body, and the other layer detects breathing rate.
If the patient's body stops moving or the patient stops breathing, an alarm goes off to alert doctors and nurses. But you don't have to be hooked up to anything.
No, it's totally non-invasive.
For this next one, the patient did have to be hooked up, and the patient was me. So what do we have here? This looks like a video game.
This is our award-winning brain-computer interface technology.
Well, it is all that, but it is also a video game. This is tough. I am controlling the blue car, guiding it around the track with my brain.
The game is a way of encouraging the patient to concentrate more. The harder he concentrates, the faster the car will move.
I had to train myself to concentrate really hard, but when I did, it worked. I was zooming around the track like Mario Andretti. Well, maybe like Super Mario. Now, what I was doing was just fun and games, but this invention has many very serious real-world applications, helping rehabilitate stroke victims, helping the severely paralyzed communicate with the outside world, and helping kids with attention deficit disorder. Rather than using drugs to deal with the symptoms of ADD, this game tries to get at the root cause and train children to focus and concentrate. So what is it that makes Singapore so good at innovation? Well, it needed to do something to move up the value chain. Around 2000, Singapore looked around and realized that it had to do something different to get ahead in the new world. Its wages were high, it couldn't compete with China in basic manufacturing anymore, so the government decided to pour money into innovation and R&D. Between 2000 and 2016, $30 billion of government money will have gone to innovation. Remember, Singapore has just over 5 million residents. So how much should the United States spend to stay ahead in this race? Well, I've argued much more than in the past. It's a new world with many new nations competing. My own number is about $700 billion, which is about what we spend on the Defense Department every year.